Good morning, everybody. I'm Marco Marchese. I'm here at Complete Angler in Darien, Connecticut. I'm gonna be tying some nice poppers for saltwater enthusiasts. To tie this beautiful pineapple popper, we're gonna be start first working with the head. So I'm gonna be measuring the tube. This is gonna be a tube fly. So hook comes off. This is very light, very easy to tie, and you can use whatever hook you want for whatever species you're targeting. So let's do the tubing first. All right, got our tubing out. So what I'm gonna do here is cut it to the measure, and then I'm gonna push this tip to be flushed. Let's clear the hole. Burn this to create a nice flare. And then we can put some crazy glue. And push it in. And this part of the fly is done. So this head was airbrushed before. I airbrush a bunch of them before I start tying each of the poppers. All right, now I'm gonna prepare the back of the fly to receive the tubing where the hook is gonna be sitting once we finish the fly. So the hook is gonna be like this. So we need to prepare that the little section. What I like to do is create some bays with thread, just so that the glue can stick. Nothing fancy, just some stuff for some base for the thread for the glue to stick to. And we can always like just, okay. Oh, just a little half inch. Some glue. And that's the. All right, so now we can cut this little tube to the measure we want to, just to hold the hook once we are fishing. So that's good. And as you can see, the hook sits perfectly. This is basically the core of the fly. Now what we're gonna do is dress it, put a nice shiny cover to it that is gonna make it very resistant to toothy fish, and still gonna keep it very light. This is Easy Body Jumbo Pearl that we're gonna use to tie the skin of this fly. And as you can see, there are like 3 lines here on this tubing that you can use to create kind of like a dorsal line, a lateral line. So this can make the fly looks very interesting. We're just gonna color it later. And but to start, like I just push it in, and that's gonna be the base of our fly. Actually, I need to invert everything. This is gonna be the top. So I can center this line on top and set the 2 lateral lines where I want them. And this is pretty much how we're gonna do the fly. I'm gonna put a little mark here where I wanna cut the tube. Then I'm gonna take it out and cut it. So put it back, center everything. One of the most important parts of this, tying this fly like neatly to get this shape, is to lock in the head of the tubing to the body. This almost works like a Chinese strap. So as you push it out, it's gonna like get really tight to the popper head. But to have this effect, you first need to lock in either like the back or the head. I like to lock in the head with some UV resin. So just to work as glue. It could be glued, but this makes it a lot easier to handle, to set it, and then like you just go and cure it and cut it to shape. So you can use very little. We're just gonna try to make this stick to the body. It's not supposed to create anything but like just to glue this tube to the head. And this is a transparent material, so it makes it easy to use the UV resin. If you had any color or texture, it will make it a little bit more difficult to cure. I'm just gonna make sure we are tight. And we're gonna cure it. So I just created a nice surface that glued the tube to the fly. Now I can cut it like really tight. And here we have our head of our fly, perfectly flushed. You can do a little bit more of like UV to create a nice lip around it, and to take any rough surface that might be left. realize why it's so difficult to see things. Other UV. So I'm just gonna cover like this rough edge and create a lip to the fly. And the beauty of this UV is that I'm in no rush to do anything. I can take my time, smooth it out, make sure everything is nicely covered. But I like the result. I either can put a little bit more. I think I like how it is. So then we can cure this. And the fiber sticking out. And that's it. So the head is glued to the body, or the skin is glued to the body, and now we can work how we want this to taper, can decide where we want to glue the eyes, and we can kind of create this, the lateral lines. We can paint them whatever color we feel like. This just absorbs the paint. So let me show you how I do this. So with this, if I just touch this little cotton line that is inside, it just absorbs the paint. I'm gonna use the same color for this lateral line here. So I just touch this little thread and it sucks the paint. All right, so here we have, it's a nice little detail for the fly. Now we can decide what kind of eyes we're gonna glue to this. Okay, so now let's get some eyes. Those are, I think if I'm not wrong, like 7mm eyes. What I'm gonna do is like find the spot where I want the eyes to sit, mark them so that everything is symmetrical. It just saves the risk of putting the eyes in the wrong place, having to move after you glued everything. So the eyes don't perfectly conform to the round popper, but we're gonna do some finishing with resin later just to smooth everything out. Can do it now actually. Just make sure that you don't have any edges. You don't want this to hang on the fish mouth and you lose an eye on the first fish you catch. So between the UV resin and the glue, this thing is not gonna go anywhere. And there you have the pretty much like most of the head done. Everything else now it's to make it look nicer, more fishable, getting ready to attract some predators. So now I'm just gonna do a couple wraps here. Actually, I'm gonna hold everything, pull it back so that we get really tight to the body. Okay. So now I'm gonna just untie this tubing because this can be part of my details on the fly. In fact, I'm gonna pull that all backwards so that we can have a nice surface to tie the tail of this fly. Let's finish this. So now I'm gonna move the thread back. To help me here, I can use this to keep everything forward on this part of the fly. So I'm just gonna move backwards And I'm gonna start tying my feathers here. So I'm just gonna tie like 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and then use the peacock herl to give a nice just make sure that every tips are aligned. So I can still move them around. I'm not really like very concerned how beautiful they look. It's really just to have like a good tail that moves a lot. And I can now cut off the tips. Now I'm gonna put some green to make the top of my fly, the back of the fly, sorry. Match the colors that I have on the tubing. All right, and to create some tie a little marabou just to give more movement to this fly. I'm just gonna give it a little dab of super glue. Keep everything in place. And I'm gonna palmer this thing. Making sure I'm not trapping any fibers. Okay. Then lock it in. Cut off the tips. And the last step here is to tie some flash material. So what I'm gonna use. Just a few wraps to give a nice flashy tail. Finish it off. Cut the thread off. Give it a dab of super glue. And now I'm gonna push this back. Get this little detail. And it's done.